One, two, three, in the place to be. It's me, CRAIG, Mr. Tabor, coming to you live and direct from Dre and Craig's VIP Cuts. It is a end of a day. I had a scale of 1 to 10. I had about a 7. Yeah, I had about a 7. I cut about 6 heads today. I had one VIP package, so yeah, it was about a 6. It was about a 6. I probably made about 250 today, so that's not bad for uh for a slow Monday, cause today was a slow Monday. I feel like my clientele is getting stronger. It took a deep drop, a deep drop when I started teaching at the school. And I didn't realize it was going to drop like that. But basically, my schedule went from being available to being almost non existent from January till I'll say the middle of June. And it's crazy because I thought my loyal every week day one jokers, I said, well, they'll work around my schedule. They'll come to the school, but they wasn't coming. They didn't even say anything, and I'm talking about I had a 20 plus year client, and but I did tell him because he moved to Atlanta. Shout out to him. And I was like, hey man, I know it's gonna be a drive. You want me to find you another barber in Atlanta? And he was like, nah, I'm coming here, man. Shoot, I'm loyal. And I was like, okay, because I only asked once, because I don't want you to get the I did it. I'm trying to get rid of you. So it was coming for about a good 3 months. And if anybody was one to deal with my schedule, he was one, because he has been with me through every barbershop. And shout out to Sherm, because he has been with me through every barbershop. I'm talking about just in Georgia. I'm talking about Alpha Design, uh, that one down the street from Alpha Design in Forest Park. Damn, I can't remember it. I got it written down somewhere, but it was a lot of shops, and he was always there. But when he dropped out, I was like, damn, this shit is serious. But I was doing what I love, you know? Or so I thought. Or so I thought. It is really interesting. But, and I got to do a show on this subject alone, but I thought I was going to love teaching, and I only like it. I actually love cutting hair more than the teaching. Then now, obviously, I can get more money teaching. You know, I can get way more money teaching, but it's not about the money. I actually like cutting hair more than teaching. Now, I like cutting hair. I mean, I like teaching. Don't get me wrong. I like teaching, but I love to cut hair. And I didn't find that out until it was taken away from me. And you know, self-imposed, but it was taken away. And I was like, damn, I like really missed it. And when I occasionally did get a client or get a walk-in, I was really appreciative. So shout out to me for finding out what I really really like, because that that's crazy. Because I thought that it was gonna be nice and smooth. I was gonna stop cutting hair. I was gonna cut a little bit, and I was gonna be consumed with teaching. No, that's not going. I don't care how many students I have. I might hire a good staff, but I only like teaching. So in a perfect world, I would be in the school. Out of 6 days, I would be in school maybe one day, 1 or 2 days, 2 days max, and not the whole day. So in a perfect world, meaning I got a lot of students, I'm able to hire good quality instructors, and I'm there twice or once a week. That would be good. And the rest of the time, I say 4 days, I would like to spend in the barbershop, at least 4. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. I would love, but I really, this is if the shop is crowded. No, if the school is crowded, I would do Monday and Saturday. Monday, Friday, Saturday. I would do a half a day Friday and a whole day Saturday. Yeah, Monday, Friday, Saturday. In a perfect numbers world for me as a barber, that's what I would do. And I might just do Friday, Saturday, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's how I would do it. And like I said, it's okay. I discovered I love barbering more than I actually love teaching. So, but once again, I do like teaching. But today, we're going to talk about what I learned about owning multiple barbershops. Um, once in my career, I owned 2 shops at the same time. But the rest of the time of my career, it was like I would own a shop, be there 2, 3 years, and I would leave. Be there 2, 3 years, and I would leave. But this shop, I've been here surprisingly 12 years. So that is a great achievement. Great achievement. Now, if you can imagine, because I'm not going to give you the tour yet, but if you can imagine, the shop has been beat up for 12 years. I need it needs to be renovated big time. I just think about if I had money, or if money was no object, boy, I would strip, man, I would strip this shop butt naked and just, man, it would be crazy. I will put up, I'm started with the TVs, that's crazy, but I will put up 3 TVs. No. 2 TVs on this side. 1, 2, yeah. So I would put up 3 big TVs in back of me. I would throw the lights away. We getting all new lights. So I would get good lighting, new mirrors, maybe do a full size mirror if we have enough room. Get everybody gets a shelf like mine, or everybody gets a shelf like, well, I need 4 shelves. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 shelves. Even though I love my chairs, I would get brand new chairs, even more upscale than what it is. new mats I would get. And that's stations. I would get 3 stations, by the way. I would get a big long couch for that wall right there. I would keep that couch. I would have that section right behind you. I would have them build a shelf so I could put my hot towels, my freezer, and any other like 2 more shelf space for to yeah, I will put enough shelf space for the radio. Um, yeah, it's a lot of way new lighting. Um, yeah, way new lighting. Probably that do the hexagon thing. But I want to know if that is actually good lighting. I wonder if the hexagon is really the type of lighting that, is good, because I have a funny feeling that hexagon lighting is not that bright, because it doesn't look bright. It looks fancy, it looks cool, but it doesn't look bright. So I really don't want to put ring lights on every station, but the ring light is just a trend. That's all it is. It's just a trend that the social media barbers started using, and all of a sudden everybody got one. When they got brighter portable lights, way brighter than that. But social media barbers made it sexy. And every barber feels like they need to get one. Matter of fact, I should do a whole show on what social media made sexy, but it's really not. Starting with number 1. Social media barbers made the sweet sexy. They made it so sexy. It was like social media barbers made the sweet like a luxurious, comfortable couch, fancy barber chair, enough room for you to play Xbox. They had a little section for Xbox in there. It was just like a man cave. That's what it was. If you were given unlimited money and you were to design a man cave, that is what social media barbers made the suites seem like. So you got all these barbers rushing the suites, and they not even ready. Because like I said, like I always say, if you are a sweet barber, you have to have all your clientele, meaning you have to be fully booked or almost fully booked, at least 85% booked, even though that might even be pushing it, but at least 85%. So, yeah, we going to do a show on that, because I could go. I could go on about what social media barbers have made sexy, but it's really not. I tell you another one. I got to tell you this. The enhancements. Yes, the enhancements. Doesn't mean that I'm against it, but social media barbers have made enhancing. So let me just say this. I'm not blaming them, because they just did what the client asked for. But y'all went berserk with it, man. It's like, if you cutting a teenager, you have to have some enhancements. You know, yeah, it's crazy. I'll never forget. This kid, about 15, was like, "Yo, could you put the line, the chalk line around my hairline?" And I was like, he wanted to leave the shop with that chalk line, big, thick chalk line around his hairline. And I was like, what the fuck? What the hell have we come to? You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, but I'm going to stop because if I keep telling y'all what sexy, what social media barbers have made sexy, but it's really not, I'm going to have to do a whole show on that. And that's not what I came on here for. But, what else? Yeah, let me stop. So, we was here for what I learned owning multiple shops. Okay. I've owned, let's see, 94, 98, 96. Wait, 94, 98, uh 2012, yeah, 2014. Yeah, I've owned 5 barbershops. Okay, 5 barbershops I've owned. Some of them at the same time. Most of them by themselves. Okay, and what I did learn, the first thing I learned, you have to hire whoever you hire, whether it's your boy, whether it's somebody you just met, but you got to realize that first barber is going to set the tone. He's going to help set the tone for your shop. If he's a rowdy barber, if he likes to listen to explicit music all the time, if he smokes weed during his break, that's going to be the tone of your barbershop. But if he's calm, good guy, family man, church goer, mosque goer, loves his family, you're going to have a great start to your barbershop. You know what I mean? Great start. One person can improve or hurt the culture of their entire shop. Okay? Skills get people in the chair, but professionalism keeps them there. Now, I'm thinking of a barber from Philly. He worked at Legends Barbershop. He was super short. He was super short. But that motherfucker can cut his ass off. He was doing enhancements back in 2008. He was doing enhancements in 08. Okay? And that's how far ahead of the game this guy was. He was an incredible barber, but he was a serious gatekeeper. Serious. He wouldn't let you see his products. He try to hide the client when he's cutting so you won't see certain things. He was a serious gatekeeper. So you got to ask yourself, would you rather have him as a barber to help to start your shop off, or would you rather have somebody else? Because his clientele was off the chain. Okay. He had the 2 to 4 people waiting at all times. You know what I mean? 2 to 4 people waiting at all times of the day. My barbers know what that is. For the general public, sit and think about it. 8 o'clock, he got 2 barbers. 4 o'clock, he got 2 barbers. Throughout the whole day, he cuts them, somebody comes in. He cuts them, somebody comes in. So, yeah, that was his style. But you got to ask yourself, do you really want him? Because he had a very cocky attitude. Okay, he always let you know he was from Philly, but he had a super cocky attitude. And I guess, you know, he had so many clients. Well, I'll take that back. If I had that many clients, I wouldn't start acting like an asshole. But he was a cocky asshole. Okay. But he could cut his ass off. You know what I mean? So you got to ask yourself, do I want this person in my shop? The biggest hiring mistake I made, let's see. That's easy. That's easy. We'll just say this person actually led me to this barbershop. Um, he got into I'm a I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna make it clean. I'm gonna clean it up. But he got into a religious argument with my partner now, Dre. And it was a disrespectful religious argument. And for some reason, that had me, I was like, what? I mean, I couldn't believe dude did that because Dre is a God fearing man of God, positive, always positive. He's a good guy. And for him to be disrespectful in his religious argument, that that blew me up. And I said, that's it. I'm out of here. So I packed up my stuff, and he was my business partner. So I packed, and let me tell you, that was a very nice barbershop I left. I mean, it was, it was to this day, it can rank with some of the top luxurious shops out there. It was nice. It had minor luxury, but it was clean. It was clean, and it just everything fit. They even had a room, like if you wanted to chill, you could put a game back there. It was like an apartment, that back room. But I left that. I was that mad. And I drove around McDonough till 2 o'clock in the morning looking for a space. And I was so mad I did not care what space I got. Long story short, I found this location and rest is history. That was 12 years ago. So yeah, man. We can do things that can surprise us. You know what I mean? So that was the biggest hire mistake I made. And what I overlooked from my business partner were, and the funny thing is, because he was from, I ain't even gonna say the town, but he was from this particular town, and I started hating everybody I met from that town because of him. And they could be a real nice guy, but I'd find out they from this town. I was like, nah, he ain't no good. I don't trust him. That's how bad my ex business partners scarred me. But yeah, you what I overlooked, um, I can't even say I overlooked it because it was like one day he was cool, and then the very next day, his negative qualities started to show themselves. But I don't want to do a whole show talking about him. But why talented barbers still fail? Well, if you are a talented barber, you know, you got a lot of clients, Why you fail is easy. You don't keep a good percentage of what you make. If you make 100, you only keep 20. You know what I mean? You're spending the rest. And I'm using 100 as a mythical number, but yeah, man. I see barbers got these nice cars, nice houses. But if they get sick for a week, every bill is gonna be late. Every bill. Just a week. 1 week. So there are barbers who make a lot, but they spend a lot. So, because I'm guilty of it too. When you're a young barber, you feel like the money is going to be there every week. You know, you're like, yeah, I can blow this week because I'm going to get it right back next week. And as a young barber, you get in the habit of spending at least, it's crazy. If I would have put just $10 a week in some sort of account, right now, man, just say my first barbershop. I'll say Mike's from 93. So from 93 to 2026. So let's see. I put $10 a week in the what you call that account? An account where money keeps growing. But 93 to 2026, $10 a week. So you got 52 weeks in a year. And how many years is that? 937, 26, 33. 33 years. 33 years. Wait a minute. 33 years. And I just lost my train of thought. Okay. $10 a week, every year for 33 years. So we'll say a month. So that's $40 a month. Okay. How many months? 33. Wait. How many months? Damn, I don't have my calculator in front of me. Anyway, it's a lot of damn money. It's a lot of money, okay? And I'm laughing because I don't have my calculator. But anyway, you gotta put some money away when you're a barber because 1 week of you being out and every bill is late because of it, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But what I screen for now, I hire some good barbers. I'm not bragging, but I hire some good barbers. In fact, I hire two good barbers because they're so good and so nice that they build up so much clientele that they end up leaving. But we are still friends with all of them. But I hire some good barbers, and what I look for, I might discriminate a little bit because I say you have to be at least 35 with a wife and family or a girlfriend and family. And, I know I'm discriminating, but you have to be a very good barber, a very good person if you're under 35 for me to hire you. Because at this level of my of my career, I don't have the patience for a young barber, a YN. I don't have patience. I have mentored a lot of YNs over the year, and I did it happily. But right now, And that really sounds selfish of me. And I gotta really think about what I'm saying. But right now, I just I don't have the patience for the YNs, because they do such stupid shit. But I will. I will mentor one. But as far as giving one a job, you gotta have some positive quality about you before I let you work here. You know what I mean? It has to be something that really stands out, which makes me feel like, you know what? I can hire this person. So yeah. So poor money management is why barbers fail. Inconsistency, you know, you're good one day, you're average the next day. Lack of discipline. You don't discipline yourself to come to work on time and leave on time. It doesn't matter if, say you, and I wouldn't recommend it, but say you get here, your hours are 12 to 8. I wouldn't recommend that schedule, by the way. But if your hours are 12 to 8, make sure you are there 11:45 a.m. and you don't leave before 8 p.m. Every time you set your schedule for that, because your clients depend on that consistency. You know what I mean? They depend on it. So you, as a master barber, you got to commit to it. Uh, Weak communication. Yeah, I know what that means. I've had barbers who they had so much going on, and it affected their barber career, but they wouldn't say anything. They would just keep it to themselves. And you see crazy shit happening in the shop, and you're like, yo, what what the hell is going on? And you don't know, something crazy is happening at home, you know? And I'm thinking of one female barber when I say this, and you know who you are. But and I've had plenty of female barbers. Don't get it twisted and think it's just the last female barber. I've had about one, two, three. I've had about 7 female barbers in my barber career. You know what I mean? Um, the hardest conversation every shop owner eventually has. That's easy. Well, it's not easy. Um, that is, it's 2 parts to that question. That is one, when you have to let somebody go that you like as a person, but they just can't cut hair. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, not that. Because you can teach them how to cut hair. You are letting somebody go, period. It doesn't feel good, at least for me, to have to fire somebody. You know what I mean? Even if I'm in my right and everybody agrees that this person needs to go, it's still, uh, it still does something to me, you know? It definitely still does something to me. So, um, that's one hard conversation, when you have to fire somebody. Another one is when a barber who you like is actually leaving. Now, even though you didn't initiate the conversation, that's a hard conversation when a barber that you like is leaving the not little, but is leaving your shop. So that is a hard thing to talk about. Um, one and for me, it's hard because when you work here, I consider you like family. I really do. It may sound corny, but I consider you like family. You know what I mean? And family, you know, family goes through things. Sometimes you're mad at your uncle, sometimes you're mad at your grandfather, but you never stop loving them. So when I say family, I'm speaking of, the barbers at this shop. Excuse me. The barbers at this shop, I definitely consider them family because they're all good guys, all of them. Great barbers, but better people. So I would definitely consider them family. So having that conversation with them, it would be hard, but at the same time, I would understand. You know what I mean? I would understand because I would probably do the same thing if the roles were reversed. Okay. Um, how to build shop culture that people don't want to leave. Well, this goes back to what I learned about opening multiple barbershops. You want to create a culture that barbers feel comfortable in. It's not like you're saying, it's not like you're saying, uh, I don't want them to leave. I gotta put up games and I gotta make them, get massage seats for them. No, you want to make it comfortable for you, but ultimately you're making it comfortable for your barbers and the clients. And when I say comfortable, I mean mom should walk in the bathroom and not be scared to use the bathroom. And I say that knowing I need another renovation. Man, I need a renovation badly because the bathroom is one thing. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It's like a 6. And a 6, yeah, it's about a 6 out of 10. And man, there's a lot I want to do to this shop, and I hope I get some money real soon because I want to really make this shop nice, man. You know what I mean? Because I want to come in here like I mean, I'm excited to come in here, but if I do it like how I really want to do it, man, I would be like, yo. But ultimately, it comes down to the cut. You know, it could be a hole in the wall, but if it's clean and I got good people I'm cutting, then hey, I'm loving it because I love to cut. Um, Respect, teamwork, mentoring. That's 3 things: respect, teamwork, mentoring. You should obviously have respect for your coworker. You don't have to love them. You don't have to like them, but you have to respect them. You know what I mean? We have mutual respect. I've had even when I had a full house. I have respect for everybody. That's just a grown man thing. It's a human being thing. You know what I mean? So teamwork. Um, it's funny because we wouldn't necessarily have teamwork because it wasn't things that required us to have teamwork. Well, I take it back. We had minor teamwork, but we definitely respected each other. It wasn't like one guy was cleaning the bathroom one day and then another guy cleans the bathroom the next week. Nah, it wasn't like that. But that doesn't mean we did not respect each other. We definitely respected each other. So mentoring. All of us mentor the young men that come in there. Some of us mentor the teenagers a little bit more, a lot more actually. So shout out to John for really mentoring the teens that come into the shop. He's a definite positive barber. You know what I mean? Yeah. Accountability and creating an environment where everyone can grow. When you're building your shop culture, and you are building it, whether you know it or not, accountability, you kind of assume everybody has accountability, but you should make sure you know that everybody has accountability. You know, there are things that they are required to do as a barber at your shop, and they should do it. And not trying to be, some slave driving hard boss, but you should have a contract before each barber starts working there. A simple contract though, just saying things like, I won't fight in the shop. I won't play music with curse words in the shop. Just a simple, basic, clean barber contract. So that's part of accountability each barber should have. And you want to create an environment where everyone can grow. A good, positive, clean, good location environment is one where everybody can grow. Everybody can get their clientele to the point where they can't take any more clients. So that that is what you want to do. Okay. We're gonna cut it off right here, and we're gonna have a part 2 to what I learned owning multiple barbershops. But I'm gonna make a list of every barbershop I worked in, and I'm gonna try to have it for the next show. But I really learned more about how to handle people than anything dealing with barbering. Because, like I said, you can teach anybody how to cut. Anybody, male, female. You could not have a job for 20 years and start cutting, and I'll show you how to cut. But it's on the other hand, finding a good person, a good quality person with a good heart. That is the challenge. All right. We're going to end on that note. Mr. Taper's Barber Life. It's going down. If you're in the Atlanta area, you need a barber school, come to Taper's Barber Academy. It's in the South Lake Mall. Our instructors have 30 plus years experience. We know how to get down. So check us out in Clayton County, South Lake Mall. Taper's Barber Academy, and we out.